The street.
I'm glad to say that before it started recording.
I know. I went down as far as, you went to the last row of the churches. I went to right here. Oh, you went all the way around the cemetery. But what I'm saying is, this, we went driving this way, then we went driving this way, and they both say east Moody Road. Second east, first east, center. This is fifth west. But when you do it.
Did you not hear it said recording 30 seconds ago?
That's fifth west.
We said that Home Depot is gonna be as big. Says except for.
Show me. Or west Moody Road. Nope. See that that's it again. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to go and get up with the northwest of the sand to see what sheets out here. Second west is where. Third west, fourth west.
Fourth of those in.
Way down there. Yes. No, it's like. This fifth west is the fair, yeah, it's the fifth west is the Fair Kennedy School.
Yeah.
And fourth is the next one. Yes. But for this doesn't line up with the kids. If you're doing the cemeteries right here, and this is Moran, and this is Moody.
This parcel.
This is fifth west.
At least.
And then we'll line straight through the fairgrounds. If they can be connected. What? And it'll go straight through the fairgrounds. What?
Yeah, there
That's
is
the future plan.
like, it would make sense.
We don't. We don't have that money to pay Don.
Sure.
It's the only way that's happening. That's why I say it's planned. We have.
Okay. If that's the case, so.
Okay. Cause I was looking for.
I think that's a valid question. to ask.
And I thought it
Because
Bruce given
this is
up
gonna be.
somebody's property.
And then this is gonna be all town.
I was thinking it was probably where the headstand would be about 4. Right by the bank from that corner. They're on the second. Oh, you've got this. I'll have you. Okay, all right. I'll shut up.
Oh, yeah, that's just.
It looks like.
Hey.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me to keep it undercover?
So I'm wondering what's the goal. Yeah, those are the clarifying questions. Oh, yeah. Oh. They're probably here to participate in the public hearing for
Item 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4 are they of interest to them. They're in the neighborhood.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Someone like.
6.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the one that's.
Your bandwidth is sensitive to in the city or out of the city, in the impact zone, right?
No, this is all annexation.
Well, yeah.
County trust. It's our action. They've been notified. Great. Then it's gonna be, like he said, he was.
Yes, they're.
But you do have a quorum.
Yeah, I think we just need to sort of the beginning. I just want to have information. All right, welcome. 6:30, so we'll begin tonight. Thank you for coming to participate in the process tonight. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. That'll be led by Commissioner Francis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have a roll call today, please?
Yes.
And welcome aboard, by the way.
Thank you. Roll call, Randall Kempton,
Here?
Sally Smith, absent. Aaron Richards, absent. Jim Lawrence, absent. Bruce Casper,
Here.
McKay Francis,
Here.
Brian Thackeray,
Here.
Vern Muir,
Here.
Dan Hanna, absent. Tammy Geddes, absent. Rick Robinson.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. We will move to the approval of the planning and zoning minutes for June 4th.
I shall move that we accept the meetings on June 4th as was and is.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Commissioner Casper. Any second?
I'll second it.
And seconded by Commissioner Thackeray. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions?
Abstention here. Okay, Francis.
Okay, Francis abstains.
You weren't here either. Last meeting.
No.
Okay.
And Vern.
Would you like to abstain from the, okay, and Vermeer will also abstain from the vote. Thank you. All right, our first item today is a plat approval for University Town Center located approximately 901 South Yellowstone Highway. And that application is to subdivide the property into 8 lots. And who will make the presentation on that? Staff, please. Thank you.
First of all, commissioners, thank you for being here tonight, but I want to take a moment and introduce Christina Gilman. She
Thank
is
you.
our new administrative assistant, and she is working and trying to learn everything, and we've been feeding it to her in a fire hose.
Pretty much.
But she's doing great. We're going to get her there real fast. So we want to welcome her and thank her for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward from this, we are looking at an approval for this plat, or at least a recommendation to city council. Staff has reviewed that. We have looked at the requirements. They have met the requirements, and we are recommending approval, you to recommend approval to city council. And I'll show you the that is what the plat will look like when it's done. You're looking at this area from right here, down along here and back along here. This is where the new Olive Garden is going, Chipotle's in here, and the new Cafe Zupas. So that's where this will be located in the city.
Okay. Any questions for staff for clarification on this plat?
I've got a question. Are there plans in place already for widening University further up for, I guess, additional traffic that
They
Yes, ma'am.
submitted a traffic impact study, and there are going to be some things that are going to be done. We're also working on another plat to the north side of University, not north, south side.
Okay.
So between the two of them, there could be some major changes in that road going on up to Fifth West.
Okay.
But they'll meet whatever requirements to keep that road flowing.
well, I was out there and it looks like they're going full bore ahead. They've got that road
Mhm.
go pretty well dug down and
Mhm.
starting to put gravel or whatever there, so.
Yes, they are currently doing that at their own risk.
Okay.
The whole area right there's commercial.
Yes.
Businesses.
Mhm.
This side of the road is CBC, Community Business Center. The south side of University is actually Regional Business Center. There's just some slight differences between the two, but it's usually designed for large stores to come in and build in. So we haven't,
Is this address listed accurate?
it's an approximation. We don't have an actual address to the property. It has not been.
You know what
addressed
we're
yet.
talking about.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
They've been doing a lot
When I
of
put
work
this
out
in, it brings up the old Sun Pro building.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's weird. And we've seen that in some of the addresses we've looked at. There's some real confusion on how that was done.
I guess that's weird because 7th South comes.
Yeah.
Right down
Yeah, 7th, 8th, and this one would be University's basically 9th.
So at the moment, there's nothing concerning this Sun Pro property. Okay.
No. The current owners are doing some demolition. That's all we know.
Okay.
But this is not the Sun Pro property. Make it a little easier if you look. Here's where the diverging diamond is for the south exit
Mhm.
coming in through here. This is a McDonald's here,
Right.
Great West
That's,
Credit Union.
yeah.
And then you have Wendy's and then the
Wendy's,
two
yeah.
hotels down in here. So that gives you a little perspective. Mesa and Eden are located right here. This is the Henry's Fork Plaza going in here. This is Benchmark Potato.
And so that plat fits right over that Nojo Drive.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll fit right in here.
Okay.
We did a lot split earlier because they had one tenant that had a 1031 exchange and it had to be done by a certain timeline. So they split it. That delayed this plat. And that's why it came to you a little later because we had to include that inside of that plat to present it to you guys.
Okay.
Alan, will you please go to the other view of the plat itself?
Yes. I may have messed it up. It's hoping to blow it up a little bit. So you're looking at, this is the plat that we split off, the lot we split off, but it is included in this, and their signature is on this plat. Because they have to be once they own that lot. But you're looking at this lot, this one, this one, this
That
one,
bottom right box, is that Olive Garden?
right here is,
Yeah.
yeah, which is outside of this plat. It's not included. This is the boundary for the plat.
So there's one exit on the west side out on Yellowstone.
There'll be one on Yellowstone. There will be Mekon Drive will actually come through. And then Tamina will also come out to here.
And I can't see really well, but will the west side entrance by McDonald's still exist?
Yes,
This
as far as we know.
Okay.
If it becomes a big enough issue, that may go away, but they will have access coming through here. They'll also have access coming in back from here. So it gives them multiple places to come into. But at this point, I don't think there's anything being driven to take that away.
Any other questions for staff before we discuss this? Or make a motion?
I make a motion then that we accept the plat for 8 lots at approximately 901 South Yellowstone Highway. And that those lots are to be subdivided and what?
So we'll make the recommendation to city council
Yeah.
to approve the
Mhm.
plat.
Yes,
Okay, so we'll amend that motion to be a recommendation to city council to approve the plat.
correct, Mundo.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Casper. Any second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Robinson. Discussion of the motion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Recommend to city council the approval of that plat. Thank you. Next item is a public hearing. This is the annexation of the Basic American property located at approximately 80 East, 7th North. And the application is to mend the city boundaries, and the city will present for that.
Yes. This is a area that we are working into the city. One of the things that can be done with our annexation, they've made changes to that. And the only way we can do what's considered a forced annexation is in a situation where they're either an island and they need to be brought into the city, or they are using city services, which is an implied consent to be able to annex them into the city. That's the clause that we're using in that, is implied consent, because they're currently using sewer, water, and fire. They got the fire hydrants. What is it?
Fire suppression.
Fire suppression. That's what it is. And so we are presenting this to you. Staff has looked at it, and we are recommending it to you to recommend to city council. And this is a public hearing.
You're right.
Is it where your arrow tip is? Out there.
There's 5 parcels right here, right here, right here, and then there's 2 little ones right down here.
That's all Basic American.
It's all Basic American.
You'll bear with me for just 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, while we're looking at that, when a motion is being made with those different lots, do they all need to be included, or can we use the address provided?
You could just use all lots listed.
Okay.
If you'll permit me quickly, commissioners. Again, as anybody who's been on this council, who's been around me, understands that, again, I take any allegations of, or not allegations, but any discussion of what the city hoping to do being illegal or not provided for in the law. Again, I always take those things seriously. If you reviewed the materials that were provided by planning and zoning, we received correspondence from the attorney for Basic American Foods, who formally objected to this annexation and went through a number of factors in those. Again, just for your information and just to make a record, I have reviewed that thoroughly, and I'd like to just share a couple quick things with this council if there is concern. And again, and I trust that all of you have read that letter. So again, in that correspondence, the Council for Basic American cited noncompliance with Idaho Code 5222. If you look, and I have it highlighted on the screen, implied consent, it's under a definition of that very code. Implied consent means that valid consent to annex is implied for the area of all lands connected to a water or wastewater collection system owned and operated in its entirety by the city if the connection was requested in writing by the owner or the owner's authorized agent prior to July 1st, 2024, or if the connection was completed before July 1st of 2008. So as I've gone through that formal objection, essentially it comes down to 3 factors if you look at that statute. So is the property, number one, the first question, is the property connected to a wastewater or water wastewater collection system? Is that system owned and operated in its entirety by the city? And is that connection, was it completed prior to July 1st, 2008? So as I go through that analysis, number one, it is connected. And so I do have, I'll show you that in a moment. Number two, it's obviously a system owned and operated by the city of Rexburg. And so, then it was my charge to see if that connection occurred prior to July 1st of 2008. In my review, and I do have, and I will pass those, provide these, and these will be a part of the official record as well. Please, you know what? Just take them all. There's 2. There's one with the black kind of copy line on the bottom and a separate. And again, it's not so much a technical review other than just have it for the record, so you're not just taking my word for it.
So you will see work orders, both provided to Basic American at the property in question on 2007, and then the first being 1999. And so, again, I was told by city staff that that connection was made well before 2008. But again, I wanted to verify. And so I do have these two items that indicate that work orders, and it's, I'm not entirely sure. I'm ignorant to, I know we have a wastewater meter, maybe not a water meter.
I don't think either one has a meter.
Well, I was told this morning there was one
Okay.
meter for wastewater
Okay.
that went through to track some of those things. But again, regardless, both of those connections took place, or that connection did take place. I was able to narrow it to 1999, and it's been continuing throughout. So as to that connection, we supply water for fire suppression, and then their bathrooms are connected to our sewer system. And so, and then finally, so if we look at subsection 5 within the statute, and again, and I apologize, I am making a record, given the correspondence from their attorney. And so in my analysis, all those three factors have been met. And then exception 5A is annexation with consent. In the case of a prospective annexation where all landowners, okay, that's not an issue. But again, or I'm on the second to bottom line there, or where implied consent has been given, the provisions of subsections 3 and 4 of this section shall not apply. So their objection went through subsections 3 and 4 of the statute. And again, from my legal view, those are not at issue because this is an implied consent, and legally, I have advised staff that we can legally proceed. Basic American still has the right to challenge those things. They've indicated they will. But again, legally, in my view, we do have the standing to proceed under the statute, and wanted to make a record and make you aware of that. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
My question is, why does the city want that? I see one work order was in 07 and another work order in 1999. Why are we trying to annex those right now? What is the anticipated? What's going to happen there?
So,
Answer that one.
you know what? I think it would be probably more appropriate for staff to answer that than legal. So again, I'll leave my comments today that it's legally permissible to annex. I think we're well within our statutory rights to do so. I'll defer to Alan on those decisions.
To your question, a couple of things that have happened in the recent past. About 6 years ago, we worked together on a community block grant. And in that, there was an attempt at that point that we would help them get that. Then we would agree to give them 5 years without annexing them. The agreement was never signed, so that's not an actual one. But at that point, there was a discussion. Then following that up, there was another that was attempt to do that. And they didn't at that point. The bottom line is it's an asset in the community that will bring revenue in. But on top of that, they're also something that is putting a lot of stress on our infrastructure, our roads especially. Their only road in and out is across city streets. And I think to their own, that's like 11,000 trucks a year that they run up and down that road. So we're trying to get that back to help build, maintain, do what we need to of the infrastructure.
I lied. I am going to talk. From the most basic, simple question, though, is they are utilizing our services, have been utilizing our services, and we are not collecting property tax for that. And so to get into their building, they're using our roads and our infrastructure. They're, despite how limited they may say it is to, if it's water and sewer, again, they are accessing both of those systems. And so from a very simple, straightforward answer to your question, they're not paying property tax to the city and they're using our services. So once they're annexed in, the property tax, that revenue that comes from property tax of that valuation does defer to the city.
Other question for you. So with both of these, they initiated the work requests to get on the city sewer and the fire suppression.
I don't know if that's determined in that.
I don't know if that is,
Is that important? Is that relevant to the?
I don't think it's necessarily relevant to the to the matter at hand. When I've spoken, I think that's more of a question for our public works director.
Mhm.
And so with that, I would say that, again, some speculation here where, again, I think I recall Keith saying that they made those requests to be able to do so, that they are, I had a specific discussion about only fire suppression, where the only way that they wouldn't have an issue with fire suppression and with fire code is if they were connected to our system. So I would assume that they made that request. Again, this is a recommending body. I don't believe it's necessarily at issue, but this will go before city council. Another public hearing. Director Davidson is always present at those meetings. I'll make sure that's flushed out on the record. For that standpoint, again, I don't think it's necessarily relevant to this.
Yeah, it was more of one like, I want to know, because it sounds they very much don't want this to happen and makes sense why, but like just knowing where it started, how much was asked and given is nice to know.
And to that end, from a statutory standpoint, the language doesn't state that they're connected and they made that request.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying they didn't, but I don't think it's relevant under the statute.
We don't have the data to back it up, but we don't force anybody to take our sewer and water.
Okay.
They have to come ask for it for us to provide that.
But again, Keith Davidson would be able to give an exact answer to that question. And I believe he likely will.
Now, from the picture, it was shown, it looks like 2 pivots,
Oh, I think there's closer to 4.
4 pivots. Is that where on those pivots, is that where they deposit their wastewater from
It is.
potatoes?
It
And
is.
so they're gonna retain those.
Yes.
Nobody else is in the background saying they're gonna sell us those properties and, okay.
This is one of their biggest reasons for having that land. They need that to get rid of their wastewater from the plant. And they not only have this, they also own land clear up in the Salem area that they actually pipe it clear up there and apply up there also to be able to get rid of the water. Especially now that they've done the expansion that they did 5 years ago, they're producing even more. So it's something that they spend a lot of time finding ways to disperse that water correctly.
Alan, what is the source of their water?
Other than the fire suppression, they have their own wells.
It's wells.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can't do food grade without culinary water, but they have their own wells to do that.
Will those wells come into play? Are they on this other property or?
On their property. Yes.
Okay,
But they are theirs and they can retain ownership as long as they want.
okay.
We're not taking anything from them.
Any further questions for staff before we proceed with public hearing?
That we protect.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing and we invite anybody who is here to.
Can I just quickly clarify? So Alan did state, he said we're not taking anything from them. I think that was in context to the wells.
To the well.
With that. Now, again, we've talked about the property tax element. And again, the city has, I mean, we can call a spade a spade. The city's tax rates are higher than that of the county. And that's, in my view, one of the reasons that they're likely objecting to this.
Thank you. We'll ask first, as you come forward, to state your name and your address and limit your testimony to 3 minutes. We'll first hear from those who are for the proposal, then those who are neutral, and thirdly, those who are against the proposal. And we invite you to come forward and speak if you are for the proposal. Seeing none, anyone neutral to the proposal? Would you like to come and state your name and your address and make your comments, please?
Yes, my name is Terrell Westover. We live at 994 Russell Road in Rexburg. But we do own a piece of property that's on the north boundary to Best Food. And my question to you, first of all, we appreciate being invited here. But my question to you is, what does that mean to us? Anything? And my second question is, will it help get rid of that nasty stinking odor that makes our property uninhabitable at different times during the year? It's been going on for years and years, and we've had meetings with them that really haven't produced anything. And I just, if they're connected to the city sewer, that doesn't change anything from what they are right now. They're not going to take all that wastewater that emits the odor. They're not going to put that through the city sewer. That's going to remain the same. Is that correct? Or
I'm not qualified to answer that question.
Physically, there will be no changes to any operation part of this plant. So there is no change to how they apply water. There is no change to nothing. All they're doing is this is being brought into the city just due to as they're using those services, but physically no changes to their process.
well, is there no requirements pertaining to the odor that they emit? I mean, that may be a dumb question, but if you annex that into the city, does that become the city's problem?
I would say that if I may.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think that's an issue before this board. Again, I would direct you to our code compliance officer, Natalie Powell. She'll be able to answer that question. We do have within the city's jurisdiction, we do have different, we have city ordinances that deal with nuisance, whether or not, and again, I'm not familiar enough with the facts and circumstances, whether or not that would apply to a specific city ordinance. I can't speak of now, but again, I refer you to Natalie Powell, our code enforcement officer.
So you don't think the city would not assume that responsibility?
We do not. Number one, they're going to be grandfathered in as they are. And so we aren't going to be able to force them to make changes. It'd be no different than the farm operation that's to the north of it. That puts out odors at certain times. And even if they were annexed, I could not come in and make them shut down that operation or change their operation.
Don't they operate under a conditional use permit?
No, they do not.
Best Foods doesn't.
Basic American Foods does not.
So them making our property uninhabitable is just tough.
It's basically the nature of living next to them.
But my grandfather homesteaded that property out there, and it doesn't seem right now for it to be uninhabitable for us. And
Again, and we can, I mean, with more time to prepare and look at those things, again, without, I don't think it's necessarily an issue in front of this board. I do think that there are individuals, myself included. I'm happy to chat with you at a later time to specifically go through your concerns, specifically look at any city ordinances that you would feel apply, what safeguards or grandfather provisions may apply to Basic American Foods. And then again, it's preliminary at this point because again, this is just annexation. And so to speak about whether something would or would not apply for somebody who hasn't yet been annexed, I think it's preliminary and it would kind of be improper at this point. If it does get to that point, like I said, I'm happy to go through that analysis, and my office is in this building. So didn't used to be, but now.
what do you mean when you refer to grandfather in?
Grandfather
Like
in
I
is-
said, my grandfather had that property and.
Sure, we get in the lingo terms. And so, for instance, if somebody, for lack of a better example, if there's an ordinance that says you can't paint your house yellow, but your house was painted yellow before that ordinance was in place, there's a legal theory in which shorthand, they say a grandfather exception, meaning that it was done beforehand. And so this new regulation wouldn't necessarily apply to what has already taken place. Again, and that's a generic example, and I don't know if that would apply or not here or not. And again, I'm happy to look at that at a later time if it becomes relevant.
Well, then back to my first question, thank you.
Please.
Does it have any bearing on us?
No, It won't affect you in any way.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions and your participation. Appreciate it. Anyone else neutral to the proposal?
Come to the mic.
If you want to state your name and your address and.
My name is Doug Sakota. I live at 1245 North, Second East. I'm just curious, do they pay a water and sewer assessment at a certain rate and charged because they're not in the city, but now that they're in the city, do they get a discount? I'm just curious how that works.
I'm not sure where they're at on the
On that.
numbers for that. We would have to get with Christie and them to find out if that's.
Okay.
And again, probably
I'm sorry to ask that question, but I was
Fine.
curious
Yeah.
how.
And again, that's probably not something that we as a board are really qualified to answer. or
Yeah,
need to-
that's why I said it's not really relevant. So
Come
you don't
talk
have
to Keith.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
He would.
Sorry to bother you.
Thank you. Anyone that would like to speak against the proposal?
Do we have anybody on the line? Justin,
Is there anybody online?
No.
Okay, thank you. And we've already read the written correspondence from Basic American. And so with that, we will close the public hearing and we will then discuss as a commission.
From what I'm understanding is, nothing's gonna change.
That's it.
Only,
Physically, nothing to the plant. You're just annexing it in.
there's nothing's gonna change.
No,
It's gonna stay as it is right now.
yes. We're not doing anything to it.
The tax assessment will,
That's the only thing that'll change.
property tax assessment.
I was gonna say Whitaker's Westover,
Mr. Westover.
they were concerned about the smell. It's not gonna increase or decrease
No,
because they become
annexed.
to the city.
No, it doesn't change it.
I'm sorry. I don't
Comment was
understand
made on
this.
the record.
Yes,
There is, okay, so there's an understanding, there is a tax.
there is a tax.
Ball here.
Yeah.
Right.
Tax
right.
impact.
Yeah, the city boundaries change and the tax assessment changes
Yes.
as they come in.
So that's the impact, and it would be to Basic American Foods.
So your little red line is gonna go to the west of go along up there and around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Yes.
That's where the new line will be.
Would you entertain a motion at this point?
If there's no further discussion, yes.
I'll just make a comment. Like I don't like this. Like it makes sense, but like I don't know. I have a knee jerk reaction. It's like the purpose and what's happening. Like I don't necessarily like the position. I understand it, but I don't necessarily like it. So I just wanted to put that on the record. I understand where the city's coming from, but I don't necessarily like the city taking property that because it's not an island yet. But like I said, I understand where the city's coming from.
Tax purposes.
Yep.
That's all.
And
I would-
that's what I don't.
I guess,
like.
yeah, from my perspective, as I look at it, if a business is accepting city services, then it makes sense that they would also be part of the city and, be part of the tax base. That's my perspective.
Yeah, I would also mention that our citizens have been very vocal lately about where tax dollars are being used or not being used. And I think that information like this, where city services are being used and not paid for, would be one of those things that would say, well, maybe we could afford newer services or stations or those types of things if everybody within was doing their part. So I understand that this might not be in the best interest of those who live there, but I would definitely weigh heavily on the side of you're using our services.
No, and like I said, I completely understand it, but like from this aspect, I just think from the property owner, you've been in a certain tax bracket, you're paying for the services because they pay for the sewer and water, right?
Yeah.
Again, so I'll clarify there. So there's a distinction though, so anybody who, so obviously a number of you live within the city. I know we have impact area members as well, but twofold. So number one, you're paying property taxes on your home, number one, or if you're a renter, it's being turned over to you. But let's just talk about a homeowner on this.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for water and sewer with your utility bill, and then you're also paying property taxes.
Yes.
And so in this case, yeah, they have been paying for those services on one end. From the tax standpoint, no.
Yeah, and I get that. And they're also not paying for the wear and tear that they're doing on the roads and all that jazz. But yeah, it's just, like I said, to me, I kind of view it as medicine. I don't necessarily like it. It doesn't taste good to me, but I also completely understand where it's coming from. And I understand that the tax base will be good for future budget planning, increasing roads, doing the stuff that the city needs to do. But fundamentally, like it doesn't feel good to me. That's all I'm trying to say.
Alan, do you know where the services come from to that building?
Second East,
They come off Second East,
the railroad tracks.
not down West Moody.
No,
Where-
they actually come in right here from 7th North, and they come into this area right in here where the building.
And that's where the ends are. Does it continue down 7 North?
Correct. That's our line.
Yep.
We can make it a part of the record.
Yeah, we have but it actually shows it coming from up in here, down along
This in the record.
and around to the building, so it is. We'll include this in the record showing where those services come from and where they go to.
Okay.
Okay, fire hydrants marked in red. It's purple. Oh, I have it now. I know what I was gonna get out.
Purple, I think, is fire suppression, isn't it?
No, purple is.
Usually green is wastewater.
Yeah, I think,
Purple is, per Keith Davidson, sewer is green, that
Yeah.
green line.
okay,
Blue is ours, and then purple is water. So water would be suppression, fire suppression.
Fire suppression.
Okay.
Yeah, the blue is culinary waters.
so there is some domestic water coming off that fire line then.
Mhm. And I think it's
Wanna
just
cut that down?
their restrooms and.
Restrooms?
Yeah, it's not supplying.
Well, the reason I asked the question is somebody, if that's extended out 7th North,
The blue is what?
clear to the highway, that'll change the whole structure of all those properties. So
Yeah.
Again, I think it's worth noting on the record that in that letter, they stated that the city has wholeheartedly stated that we don't have the capacity to house their complete water and sewer systems. In speaking with, and I believe this will be flushed out on the record with city council, but in speaking with Keith Davidson, he stated that is not the case, that there would have to be impact fees assessed, capacity fees assessed, but that's the nature of capacity fees is when somebody puts strain on your system, we can legally assess those fees and then make necessary adjustments. And so he does disagree with that assessment. Again, not relevant necessarily to the exact implied consent subsection within the state statute. But again, I think it's worth noting that on the record.
Spencer, will you just say which statute that was again?
Yeah.
So that it can be added correctly in the.
22555.
Idaho Code Section 50, 222, specifically the section that I brought to your attention with implied consent is (2)(c).
Okay.
And then the exception, that's out of definition, excuse me. Yep. So section 2 is definition, so 2C. And then the exceptions is in subsection 5A.
One more question I have. What led to like what triggered all of this to happen?
Without
Or-
getting into too much detail, because again, I don't think it's necessarily relevant to this conversation. It's been an ongoing conversation for,
City and Basic American Food. The discussions have been back and forth for years.
Okay.
that predates
This is-
both Alan and myself.
No, yeah, I just, like I said, because I have reservation on, I want to get as much information as I can so I can
Sure.
make an informed decision.
And again, I'll state that you're not the only one who shares. Again, there's been other city council members, other members of this council who, again, who fundamentally question sometimes when they hear the word annexation, the antenna goes up about because again, and what's that? Forced annexation. Again, it's but again, there is, I believe the city. Again, we operate in the laws that are in front of us. There was a change to annexation in 2024.
Actually, again, at 26.
In 26. And so it's been something that has been at the forefront of the state legislature. And again, we comply with those laws and the necessary changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, because I'm apprehensive about it, I want to know as much as I can.
Sure.
That we're not just like looking to pad our pockets. We need the money to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason I'm asking, like, what's led to this. But
Well, and one of the other things to keep in mind is last year or the year before, we did Taylor Court under the same circumstances.
Mhm.
They were using our services and we annexed them under that same principle, same code.
And at the time, we discussed just cleaning up some of these anomalies.
Well, theirs
around the
wasn't,
city as
theirs
well, right?
wasn't because they had some boundary around them that wasn't quite annexed. They weren't an island yet. So the only reason they were annexed is because we're providing city services.
Yeah.
And it was time to bring them into the city.
Is that the Artco building?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is not far from here. Just
No, it's very close to this.
Alan, is there this situation occurring to your knowledge anywhere else in town?
No, I don't have anything else at this point that is
It's
pushing towards that.
okay.
Mr. Chair, would you accept a motion at this time?
Sure. Unless there's any further questions.
I would make a motion that we recommend to City Council the approval of the annexation of 80 East 7th North to amend city boundaries to include these not isolated, but these unincorporated properties of the approximate address provided as the annexation meets legal bounds of usage according to section 50-222, specifically section 2C of using city services and therefore being annexed into the city of Rexburg.
I second your motion.
Motion made by Councilman Francis and seconded by Commissioner Casper. Any discussion of that motion?
it might be semantic, but you could add to the fact that by using city services, they do provide implied consent.
Implied consent.
Just to make it more legal.
Okay, would you read back the motion, please? As
Not get that.
Okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
actually wrote it down. Would you like me to repeat it?
I would love that.
Okay.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we recommend to City Council the approval of the annexation of 80 East 7th North to amend city boundaries to include these properties of the approximate address provided as the annexation meets legal bounds of usage according to section 50-222 and specifically section 2C.
relating to implied consent.
Yeah, relating to implied consent by using city services.
Does he need to bring in
Nope,
the-
that's fine.
All right. All right.
I think
Okay.
so.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, we will recommend that to city council then. That motion carries.
Just one point of clarification as to the record. And so again, clarity of record is important to us. We do the best we can. Again, having clarity on the record helps us on the front end. These meetings are recorded though, correct?
They are.
And so when we so again, even if it's when she stated, hey, I missed that,
Mhm.
again, it'd be impossible to go word for word. And so we take the review of minutes seriously.
Perfect, but we get it as close as we can.
We do. And the court expects us to do that, and we take that charge seriously.
May I say something as well, that if you can, when you do make a motion, to maybe slow down just a little bit, because in granted, I will go back and listen, but I try again to do word for word. So
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Can't have her quit the first week.
Right.
It's going great.
The next item on our agenda tonight is a public hearing for a comprehensive plan change to, this says White Owl. I'm assuming that's the name of the property. Is that correct?
Name of the company.
The name of the company, okay. And this is located approximately 4 West Moody Road, and the application is to change the comprehensive plan designation from intermediate residential to commercial. And are you presenting on
Yes.
behalf of the
The applicant
applicant?
was tied up and he just asked me to present what he could tonight.
Okay, thank you, please.
Yes. So here's the thing to look at. This property is located right here. This is the new homestead that is being built out there just west of the temple. Temple sits right here, new stake center, and they're right here. The edge of the church's property runs right down this property line. So they're doing this front parcel and they're doing this back parcel. So there's 2 different ones. But comp plan, what we're looking at right now, it's intermediate residential. He wants to switch those 2 parcels to commercial so that he can then do commercial businesses in there. Currently, that back lot is zoned light industrial. So this is what he's looking at, is being able to put that. He's right at the end of that road. And he thinks it would fit well with the temple, being able to provide that type of stuff. So his request in front of you is change the comp plan from intermediate residential to commercial. Staff has reviewed it and they find no reason to not approve this to city council. Our recommendation is to approve.
What would that change the color to on the?
Your red would be the commercial right here. So that would be your closest commercial.
Where's Homestead?
The commercial homestead is right here. It's these 2 parcels right in here.
So although the church owns all that land,
No, the church's property is
on the church's property is 2 colors, right?
Yes, because
They
they
follow the
made,
2 designations
yeah,
already.
they have 2 designations. They made no changes to this when they were platting it. They could have made changes and they just says, we don't know what we want to do yet. So we just left it where it was at that time frame.
Is that still the case? Do we not know what they're doing?
We have visited with them multiple times and they says, we're worried about getting the temple done. When that's done or close to finishing, then we'll come start looking at what we want to do on the rest of it. The temple can stay tag forever.
Right.
Because the chapel is allowed or a temple is allowed on that zone with the CUP, which was granted. So that one doesn't have to change, but if they do anything commercial, residential, then they'll have to abide by those zoning and comprehensive plan rules that are there, or they're going to have to ask for a zone change and comp plan change.
So the reason for my comment was it looks, will you go to the other view, please? And then where's the line of the church? Oh,
Line of the church is right here.
Okay. So
Let's see, no, I take
No,
that
it's
back.
one-
They're
yeah,
right
over.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So really, with one owner owning all of that,
Mhm.
with part of that being commercial, it wouldn't necessarily be as much of a just spots of
Mhm.
change there.
Yeah.
Can you point out where the stake center is again?
Stake Center will be located right here in the corner of the temple. I don't know if it's right up close to this. This is Church Road.
You'd want to put
Okay.
aggressive, right?
And so they're right in this corner.
And we don't know what's going to be on the west side of that road.
We do not.
Okay.
Let the record reflect he's referring to a church house and not a restaurant.
Thank you.
Yeah. This
Oh,
thing.
say
Thanks.
Well, we can use one.
Yeah.
Things we don't think about in Rexburg sometimes.
That building that's on the northeast corner of the temple property, is that, do you know what that is?
Northeast corner, that is for their lawn and garden equipment. Yeah, their facility equipment to take care of the property.
Yeah.
And I think there's also some pumping stations and stuff built into that for irrigation. So it's groundskeeping stuff.
Not a business.
No, it is not.
Okay, great. We will open the public hearing then. And again, ask you if you are to come forward, state your name and your address. We'll begin with those who are in favor of the proposal, and then those who are neutral, and then those who are against. Anyone in favor of the proposal who would like to speak? And seeing none, are there anyone neutral to the proposal who would like to comment? And seeing none, anyone who is opposed? Okay. Is there anyone online who is still no one online, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody online. No, so yeah.
And good. And I looked for written correspondence on this and I didn't find any. Did anyone else see any written
We had a
correspondence?
verbal response, but it was not written, wasn't
Right.
formally submitted.
Okay.
So
All right. Great. Thank
Yeah.
you. We'll close the public hearing then and begin our discussion of this proposal, commissioners.
Is anyone else kind of confused on this change?
What are you not confused about? Let's start there.
What am I not confused? I know I'm a little lost because I don't understand why we do because there is commercial at second, but then commercial a temple and then commercial again. From most of my understanding of how I've seen most of that usually built out, usually build residential around the temple because that's what most people like in the area. Now, no knock to the property owner. It seems a little out of place to me.
So the part that makes sense immediately for me is anything that touches a highway is downgraded because of noise and those types of things. So if you look at big cities as they continue to grow and fill in,
Mm-hmm.
you notice in Salt Lake, like all of a sudden you are getting some residential, but it's for the masses, not the
Yeah.
$1 million houses, right?
Yep. No, I understand that.
And so I see that as like, well, we got to use this property for something, but we're not, even though we're next to the temple and it's going to be a nice area, we're
Mhm.
still right up against Highway 20 with all the noise.
That's true. But getting to that property is going to be issue for a commercial property. It's
No.
not going to be.
there will be a stoplight at that Teton River View Road.
I know, but you're going to have to get off of the highway,
Yes.
go down to where you put the stoplight.
There's stoplights going in right now.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be okay because you'll have plenty of signage off of the Highway 20, but it's not like where Walmart is or something like that. You're not right off the highway.
One of the key things to keep in mind here is currently it's light industrial. He
Mhm,
can build whatever he wants in light industrial as long as it fits within the permitted uses.
mhm.
And so this is a step down in towards that direction. Now, I have no idea what he's going to build there. He has not proposed anything, but
And that wouldn't be
and
relevant.
that's
Yes,
not,
not
yeah,
relevant.
that's what I'm-
Right when you're just ready to land, you're about to leave. This is awful.
I'm trying.
yeah.
You trained me well, but it's
And then-
taken you a long time because I'm so slow.
And that's the thing we got to look at is commercial, what would be allowed
Uh-huh.
in that.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to look at. Now, one of the uses in commercial is mixed use,
Mm-hmm.
which is a combination of housing and But that's not the zone that he's asking for.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that
That's the next
the
discussion.
next discussion, it hinges on this one. And
Correct.
so I'm just, I get the step down wanting to use it as something because right next to the highway does, which is why the reason we've been putting a lot of townhomes on 12th or off of 12th
Oh.
is because people don't want to build nicer residential on that area. But switching it from residential to commercial, I mean, it's light industrial now.
Right now, it's not residential and the zone, we're not talking about zoning right now. We're talking about the comprehensive
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
And
Well,
whether it makes sense.
realize too that the change we made on the Loveland one, we moved commercial from residential to commercial next to the freeway.
Yeah.
Is what we did.
And I totally agree with your thought process here because we also then will jump 2 parcels
Mhm.
And then
to do it again, right? And I think it's important. A few of us have been around long enough that all of this in our comprehensive plan was slated to be industrial commercial properties.
Yes.
Right. And it was just the most recent when we had more information about the temple going in and other things like that, and some of the requests that were coming, that we started to say, well, yeah, this actually favors more residential in this area. But you have everything from a block further to the east of Walmart and those types of things, and down Moody or down Yellowstone Highway where we put all those apartments and things.
Yes.
It wasn't anticipated in the last version that we would have any type of residential over there. Will you just talk through a little bit of those
Yeah.
changes we made? Because this was all industrial.
Yeah, yeah. And just quick comment while you're pulling that up. If there wasn't a temple, then that other housing homestead being built and whatnot, it would make more sense to me. But if you end up with housing all around it and then just 2 commercial islands being set up there,
Mhm.
that's not generally what we try to do when building a comp plan. I don't know. That's my only
Reservation.
yes.
So one of the things, and McKay alluded to this a little bit, and you have to realize again what a comp plan does
Mhm.
is to try to give us the best vision of what we see happening,
Mhm.
but have that ability to adjust as things change.
Mhm.
When we set up a lot of this stuff, Temple was not even in the discussion at that point, and we laid out these boundaries or sections or, different zones within the comprehensive plan to do this, and they are speculation. We don't know what the church is going to do. That was what was in there from our discussion.
Mm.
They may come in and change it all to commercial or ask for all of it to go residential. We don't know. So those are best guess. The statement was made, it's up against the freeway. That does lean a little bit more towards a commercial element. It's off the street. You need to look at Moody Road the same way. Some of that's close to Second East and coming down that way, if it's up against that road, they tend to have a little bit more commercial and then fade into the residential when you get further back in. So it's a tough call. It's a tough one you have to make is this the right call? Do we go this direction?
Is this like an all or nothing call for both of these? Because I know that southern piece backs up to 2 houses, right? That
This
they're
one?
asking to be commercial.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It
So
does.
do we have to, is the approval tonight to, it's either both or nothing, or could we approve
It's a
one without
request
the
for
other?
both.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not split into separate actions.
Okay.
Yeah.
In another comment, I would say if the church came back and said that lot to the north of where the temple is, they're going to turn it into a business park and build a little, I don't know, like
City Creek.
Yeah, in Rexburg,
Mhm.
that would make complete sense to me then to put commercial here. But with that being an unknown, that's my main reservation. Because like if they decide that they want to build intermediate residential and put a bunch of townhomes there,
Mhm.
and then we're going temple townhomes. So you have commercial housing, then business, and then housing again. Like it seems a little hodgepodge to me.
If you go back into the comprehensive plans, one of the statements that was made in that is we develop new neighborhoods, we need to develop some types of commercial scattered through them to provide services so people don't always have to travel to longer distances or further out of their subdivision to be able to reach that. Again, I don't know what's going in. We don't know what's going to be offered or built or whatever. But again, you're looking at that. That's one of the things the comprehensive plan says. We need those pockets of commercial in different places for them to reach out. Is this far enough out? I don't know.
Yeah, they have commercial across
They do.
the street, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I guess chiming in on my opinion on that, this seems to be, on one hand, it looks like a hodgepodge, but on the other hand, it looks like a nucleus of a community that's in a way self-contained, and the kind of people that will be there, the homestead, others who will live around the temple, will benefit, I think, from commercial services. They might be doctor's office, they might be, healthcare kinds of things for people who need those kinds of things, the homestead. And so I don't see that as being a negative to that area. And to your other point, Brian, and I appreciate you bringing up that kind of temple, maybe what the church does with that, and then this commercial. I want to deal with the proposal in front of us rather than trying to speculate about what the church may or may not do. And the church may see if that goes commercial, they may say, well, that's what we'll do too. And even if they put townhomes in there, those townhomes are serviced by perhaps that commercial property. Now, we don't know what that would be though, but that's it. It is kind of as Alice said, kind of a tough.
It is.
Call. That's a hard one. Will you give us a range of what could go into a commercial zoned area?
Size of the lot's going to limit you. You're not putting big box stores.
Yeah.
You're looking at things. It could be professional offices. It could be dentists, doctors, accountants, any of that type of thing going in there. It could be retail of any stage that goes in there.
So
there's a wide range. Circle K is allowed in.
Just for perspective though. So how big is this? How big is the lot that's facing the highway or that's up by the highway? How big is that? How many acres?
It is 8.83.
Right. So that would exclude, I think,
exclude big box
regional business center.
Correct.
It'd be more geared towards community business center, which allows 5 acres for a new plat as a minimum lot size, whereas the regional business center requires 20 acres for a new plat. So that would not be a possible zone even in that particular lot if we decide to change the comp plan. And the same thing for the one lower. So,
and I would say that right now where my head's at is if we're looking at this north piece alone, it's a slam dunk in my opinion, because it's against Highway 20, everything else. Then I look down at that other one and think, well, if you had doctor's offices right behind a couple of houses or those types of things, that's not that big of a deal. But where that designation could be.
Don't make the judgment on that because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
And it could get rezoned and then sold to somebody else who put something in there. So those are my hesitations, is having those two properties split up like that and not knowing what it is a little concerning. And on the other hand, I agree with Randall that this developer knows what's going in as neighbors to this.
Yeah.
And has done a really good job in other parts of the city and matching different things. So again, not saying
that's it.
I'm not weighing that decision on who the developer is or those types of things, but if there are services that could benefit what's going in and complement, then I think we're.
One of the comments from the developer, the people he purchased the lands was Sekotas. I can't remember.
The developer needed to be here tonight.
He needed, but his statement was he had a deal he couldn't get out of.
And
what he said was the person he bought it from, the Sekotas, stated that put anything in there but dormitory housing. That's the only thing I have a problem with. Other than that, they says we don't. That was the statement he said that they told him when he purchased it.
And back there shaking his head. But can we,
Yeah. Yeah, I would say again.
can we table this until this developer is here and we get more information?
You want to know what's going in. So this board does have, so the board does have the authority to table items. I would say this, if the nature of tabling the item is to ask questions that are not relevant to this decision tonight, then I would legally advise against it. Again, so he does not have to be here. Legally, he's not required to be here. He has submitted his application. Again, I can't tell you, you can't table it, or if you want to table or not. But again, some of those questions that I think that you want to ask Bruce, I'm going to hop up and say you can't ask those questions anyway.
Yeah.
You've said that before.
Yeah, as much as I would like to look at the developer's name and, know what he's, what he's done in the past, it, unfortunately, and of course, he could sell it. And,
Yeah, and that's
we give
the
someone else.
key to
So
this whole thing. You have
we
to
just need to
look at
determine
it,
land
okay,
use and
what's the
what could
potential,
happen, or the maximum potential that might happen if we change the
regardless of who the
comprehensive plan
applicant is.
in this way. So, and again, I see that it would be, the only thing that could be there would be the smaller community business center, not the big box store.
Mhm.
Which,
So what if this developer came in with more of a CUP type situation where
If you requested one of the CUP,
it was all
options.
put out in front, right? Where decisions aren't being made with the unknowns.
well, you still got to grant the zone that he can ask the CUP within.
Yeah.
Because, and then that just gives you another opportunity to decide whether we'll allow it or not.
But would you have information prior to making a decision on the comprehensive?
Not to affect this. No, comprehensive plan has to be decided on its own merit. Does it work? Is it where we want it to go? Does it feel like we can make this? Does it look like it's going to work? That's
So-
what we got to look at.
So essentially, we could, as a group, make a decision tonight that changes the comprehensive plan, but does not approve a follow-up rezone. And we could ask for more
You
information,
still can't get more information other than the zone.
but a CUP, they come with,
Only if he's asking for a CUP you got to give him the zone before he can ask for the CUP within that zone.
yeah, good point.
yeah,
So
so,
Well, Ruckus, and you're awful quiet.
so yeah, we
Me?
do need to keep ourselves in order. So
Yeah.
let's stay in our lane.
unless we'd like to look ahead, we need to stay in our.
So
Yeah.
I would just say, any decision that you would make, just make under the parameters of what's in front of you. So I'm kind of repeating what you just said. And so the things to consider when approving or denying a comprehensive plan, an amendment to it, again, that is wider ranging than just a zone change, correct? So is it 16, 17 items that we utilize, 18 when we're making a comprehensive plan. And so those items can be considered. So as we go through some of the list, the change serves public health, safety, and welfare, review consistency with existing comprehensive plan goals, evaluate future land use map changes, consider whether circumstances have changed since the original adoption. Alan mentioned that before. Evaluate impacts on public services and infrastructure. What other factors?
The tie into it. Pretty well hit the highlights. A lot of it gets into power lines, agricultural, environmental issues.
Yeah, there's broad discretion typically
Mhm.
with comprehensive.
Going on what you're saying. So the only thing that we know for sure that's going in there is the homestead, which is housing. And we don't know what's going in anywhere else at the moment. And so with my understanding of the comp plan as it exists, changing it from a residential to a commercial seems premature to me. I'm not against it forever, but just to change these two spots by themselves without, it seems like an exception for this property and nothing around it is my apprehension. And maybe once we have more information on what's going on in the area, it'll make a lot more sense that the business starts migrating more towards the highway, and that's all business. I would have no problem at all. And then the island becomes the homestead, not the two commercial pieces. And if that's the way it is, then the homestead went in premature. So I don't think this passes the threshold to change the comp plan, is how I'm feeling preliminary, like right now.
Just an additional thought. We, over the past few years, whether it was Rachel Woolry or different people who've come in with different pieces of land, I was surprised to not see lots of people in this room tonight. And so maybe something that I've gleaned over time is that that sometimes those who aren't here, you know, have a voice of, you know, they're okay with it. Rather, you know, we had a lot of farmers, we had a lot of people right around this block who would have probably received notice on this. That
Has to be within 350 feet of any border there. So you're probably looking at 3 homes that got.
but even then, with the other ways that we, you know, put it out in the press and other
We're
things,
within the 350.
yeah, I would kind of put out there that while I'm still on the fence about where this is going, like I think the fact that we don't have those 2 houses here, we don't have all these people around, that there's something to say about they received their notices.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how many.
Being that I'm loved so much, I'll make a motion. That we deny changing the comprehensive plan from intermediate residential to commercial on the basis of not knowing its implications.
I'm going to advise
sure.
that's not a well. The language from the court is a well-reasoned statement. So again, when we are denying this applicant, again, I would advise that not knowing isn't a sufficient basis. If you can flush it out as
It's
a
not
group,
sufficient.
Can I make a different motion then? So
then let's clean
cancel
up
that
the
one.
record. Let's clean up the record. Let's
Withdraw the
Chair,
mo-
I'll turn it to you.
Yeah, so would you like to withdraw the motion and
I will withdraw that motion. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
please?
What was that?
Commissioner Thackeray, please.
Oh, yeah. All right. So here's the one that I'm thinking. We deny the change of the comp plan because it does not currently align with the comprehensive plan as it currently exists.
So I'll just maybe suggest that the nature of changing a comprehensive plan is that it doesn't align, right?
Mhm.
So are there other reasons that we can flesh out that would say, based on some of the factors that we have to consider, including property rights, land use, public services, facilities. and
So
forth?
it doesn't meet the threshold to change the comp plan. And I'm trying to think how else I would word this. And it seems contradictory to the current facilities that are being constructed in that area. Because that's what I'm feeling
Okay.
about it.
That's what you feel, okay?
Mhm.
Good. Spencer.
So- and again, so not to speak just to your, and again, I do think there's value in having this discussion. So when we go back to the things that we consider, and again, I think what you're referring to is land use compatibility.
Yes.
Okay. So, but just to do it, so in any comprehensive plan analysis, Randall touched on it. So property rights of the property owner themselves, and then of surrounding landowners, population growth, school facilities, economic development, land use compatibility. Is the proposed use compatible with surrounding areas? Does amendment disrupt neighborhood pattern? Natural resources, does it impact wetlands, water, agricultural habitat, hazardous areas, floodplain, wildfire, public services and utilities, sewer capacity, water, sap. Some of these are answered by staff when they make the recommendations. Transportation, traffic impact, road adequacy, housing need, community design, recreation, open space, special areas or historic sites, which I don't believe is an issue here, agricultural land preservation, implementation, consistency, and airport compatibility if applicable. So again, those are the things we're looking at when you're building a comprehensive plan. So then to amend that, again, there's wide discretion given to this board to, now again, whether you accept or deny a comprehensive plan change or amendment, I would hope that those are the parameters in which you do it. And so to Randall's point of, if we say, again, and the court, as Alan knows, there's just more and more emphasis on flushing out the record of specifically a case out of Boise in which there was findings that were pages long, and
40 pages
40
long.
and they still thought it was
And they trimmed it
inadequate.
down.
And so again, this won't be the last time you hear me say that this year. Is I would just state to flush it out through discussion and then through that motion.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the, how did I state the motion, just so I can know how I stated it earlier?
I got bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
Deny the change to
That
the
would give you maybe
comp.
some things to
Mhm.
mention in terms of why you. why we
Remember
want
to recommend denial, not
Yes.
deny,
And
Okay.
We recommend denial, right? Don't
if
deny.
that's what you're choosing to do.
Make a proposal that we recommend denial to city council because amending the comp plan doesn't go along with the community design. I have certain reservations on how we would properly get people in and out of that area. And trying to think how else to do this one. I don't think it meets the threshold of making that change.
Can I suggest that we don't mention the getting people in and out, because that doesn't seem to be.
It's not a restriction.
That's-
Your
yeah, city
engineer
services.
was
It's
listed
not,
that.
it's
Okay.
services aren't part.
Then-
of
then
what we're discussing.
Track,
so.
take
Yeah.
off the transportation
I would think
section
that
of
would-
that. Sorry about that.
First of all, I
No,
guess-
it's a tough one,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, this is not,
And denying something like this is harder than approving it.
so I guess first I should ask probably if there's a second to the motion and before we discuss the motion itself. So is there a second to the motion?
Before we do that,
Put it
let me
back.
ask one question, because I think, again, I think you were getting there, but when you state threshold, are you referring to, again, land use compatibility?
Yes.
Okay, and so I would ask that you include, again, that within your motion. I do think, and again, that's not me trying to feed you anything, I do think the majority of the discussion that I have heard tonight focuses on land use compatibility and believing that it is not necessarily compatible with the surrounding area. And so again, if that's in fact what you think your motion represents, I would ask you to include that in the record.
Okay.
Would you like to withdraw the previous motion?
Yeah, let's withdraw the previous motion.
Okay.
And I guess before you make, Commissioner, before you maybe make another motion, I guess I haven't really expressed my own
Okay.
feelings about it, and I haven't heard from Vern, and I'm concerned that we haven't that we may
Well,
have to hear from Vern?
My feelings are if we don't allow it and it stays the way it is, we're gonna end up with some cheap residential housing in there, which I don't think adds to that part of the community. I'd much rather see some nice offices, doctor's offices, services, etc. in that area than I would to see townhouses, I guess.
I guess my feeling is that in I guess I'm going to disagree with Brian in that I feel that there is a mixture of commercial and residential that does fit into the land use of this particular area around a temple, as I've seen other temples and the surrounding communities that are built around those temples. And so if you made a motion that you made, I would probably oppose it. And not that doesn't mean you shouldn't make the motion, because some of us may oppose, some of us may support it. But I'm not feeling that the land for me personally, the land use is not the problem here. But that's my personal view, because I think a mixture of commercial and this intermediate residential kind that seems to be developing around the temple is actually a healthy thing and not necessarily out of sync with the comprehensive plan as it certainly stands. Because when we, as Alan pointed out, when we create a comprehensive plan, we're guessing, but we don't know. And now that we have some more a very broader picture emerging with the temple and the surrounding land, it seems to be, to me, that I would want to create a community where services are available. And I certainly don't want it to be in industrial, which it currently is, light industrial.
Well, yeah, but it's currently on the comp plan set up for intermediate residential.
It's zoned as.
And so we changed it to residential, and now we're changing it back to something more commercial.
Yeah, we changed it to a mixture of commercial and residential.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's to me where I say we guessed that what would be there, but we couldn't draw boundaries without having a developer to say, hey, this is what I think should go here.
Yes. And going back to like what I've been trying to touch out for a lot of this is that these first couple places that are going to be built and designed are going to have a lot of impact of what goes in all around it. And I feel we're kind of jumping the border to put these in, and we are creating islands at the moment. And those islands in themselves, unless they have connecting points or designed to them, that's what is not sitting well with me. And so a lot of it, like I said, the church could come out literally next week and they could rezone the entire bottom pass commercial, and then I would have no problem with this. But as the comp plan exists and as what we know is going in and being built, this change does not seem, land use compatibility is not there in my mind. And I've specifically remembered in meetings that we've had, you've said that the threshold to change the comp plan needs to be higher, like it needs to make sense. And we've put things that are lower value next to the highway because the highway in itself does create a nuisance, which changes what we want to build. And so whether that's going to end up being offices, a gas station, whatever, I don't know what that's going to be yet. But until I know what's around it, what's happening in the area, I think changing 2 pieces of that land to commercial seems unusual to me.
We can discuss this all night.
Yep.
But
Well, to that,
ultimately,
before you-
it'll be the city council that decides what to do.
I was just going to make that point, Bruce, and it's well taken. I say this again. I don't know who this developer is. I don't pay attention to any of those things.
Mhm.
The only time that I ever, again, as I interject myself, is when I hear a discussion that I think, again, is meeting or is within the parameters of the law. It's guiding you back exactly of, oh, hey, this is kind of, is this what you're referencing? Not telling you what you're referencing. To Bruce's point, this is a recommending board. I think that this discussion and what's happening tonight is exactly the purpose of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I think that we have members of City Council that appreciate this type of discussion. They look at both viewpoints of those things. And so again, to that end, I hope at least me stepping in and saying, hey, you know, bolster the record a little bit isn't taken as any type of trying to stop or trying to get something through or anything like that. I am so indifferent, you'd be amazed. Probably too indifferent, but I am so focused on within the parameters of the law. And so again, even your discussion now saying, going back to land use compatibility or whatever, from the lawyer's ears, I'm like, oh, it's music to my ears because it's what you've been talking about the whole time. But then when we connect language that the court is comfortable using and things like that, again, it makes my job easier when we view these proposals. Again, that disagreement is healthy and good, but we do it and talk about them in the lens or in the parameters set within the law. Now I'll stop. Thank you.
Well, I would just say that what you just said was insightful to me, but from the other side,
Mhm.
where you said what we do here helps determine what gets done in this area. And I can't, for this to be switching, this is two parts, right? We have to be looking at, if we were to pass this and make a recommendation, we would then go to the zoning portion. And so looking at this area as, you know, CBC, Community Business Center, what we don't want it to become, or, you know, and what's there and what services could be provided. I think that I've now leaned more in favor just because I feel like that is a perfect use of what that should be done. And those that live there now and will live there will benefit from services right in the immediate. So
you're arguing that against Brian, that so you're setting a precedent that would say this is kind of what we do want in this area.
Mhm.
Whereas Brian's saying, I'm not sure until I see something else, but
And the other thing that I would add that kind of caught my attention from what you said is I've never held the it's skipping my mind. Over zoning, I have never held the comprehensive plan as to be more important than, you know, the zoning itself, because it's we've been through this process and said, well, this would seem pretty good today, but what we know today versus 3 years ago when we made those changes to the comprehensive plan, I think are very wide, and so withholding a landowner from choosing to do what they want to do with their property, I don't see enough against it to make a strong argument.
and I appreciate you reminding me, Brian, that I've said that the bar needs to be high for comprehensive plan change, and I agree with you. In this case, because the comprehensive plan is already saying we want commercial and residential in that area, I don't care about where the boundary is. This is the process where we create that real boundary, and we just knew that in that splatted, you know, our guess was residential and commercial, and now we're kind of saying, okay, exactly where. And unfortunately, we don't have a better mechanism for doing that other than either a big review of comprehensive plans we do every few years, or a developer coming forward and saying, this is what I think will make work in pencil and will serve this community. And that's what triggers these kinds of discussions. So I guess I'm not saying I'm backpedaling from my high bar. I'm saying that, yes, we've already decided what's in there, but now is where we're carving things out. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm where I'm at on that. So.
Make your motion then.
Well, I don't know, kind of, yeah.
I'll withdraw my motion
And you wanna do
that I've done. If someone else wants to make one, because I want to. I think I've made my point pretty clear.
And I
But
think the city council will hear both sides of this, and that's what's
Mhm.
important is the record, and the city council hears both of those arguments, so. Anyway. Open for a motion now from really anybody. So, do you want to try one? Okay.
I'll try. Again, it's hard to make a motion.
This is a tough one.
When they're good.
When the attorney the jerk, you can just come out and say it.
All right.
It's on track.
this one's a little bit
I'm
harder
gonna
because
give this a try and in favor of, and I'd appreciate any help from other commissioners. I would make a motion that we recommend to City Council the approval of a comp plan change from intermediate residential to commercial at 4 West.
No, all right, from intermediate, yes.
He did it correct.
Intermediate residential to commercial at 4 West Moody Road. Of course, this is where I stumble.
Here's some things that you can use as factors, I guess.
Yeah, because of the adjacent land use, current development, and planned growth in this section, I feel that it meets the appropriate bounds to make a change to the comprehensive plan.
I second.
The motion's made by Councilman Francis and seconded by Commissioner Francis, seconded by Commissioner Muir. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed?
Aye.
So opposed by Commissioner Casper and Commissioner Thackeray, and you were
I was in favor.
in favor, okay, and the other four in favor. And that's a proposal to recommend to City Council, and did you say that in your
Motion carries.
motion?
Yeah.
To recommend.
To
to City
recommend to
Council,
City
okay.
Council.
Okay.
Impact area.
This is comprehensive.
This isn't within the impact area.
No, this is within the city.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that motion carries and will be sent to City Council for their consideration. That moves us to the public hearing next on our agenda for the zone change from light industrial and medium density residential to commercial. Again, located at 4 Moody Road, the same property that we've been discussing. Application is to rezone approximately 14.24 acres from light industrial and medium density residential to community business center. And that applicant, please, on behalf of the applicant.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
get wordy.
Alan,
I'm
please.
just going to say we have reviewed this as staff. We see that it meets the requirements of code, and staff recommends it to you to recommend to City Council for approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff about specifically the zone change to community business center? Okay. Thank you. We'll open the public hearing then. And again, here in favor, first from those who are in favor of the proposal, if any, would you please come forward? Seeing none, any neutral to the proposal? And seeing none, any opposed to this proposal to change the zone? And anyone online? Thank you.
Online, no.
Thank you. Okay. Hey. Anything? Thank you.
I might go back and
Would you like to backpedal to one of the other?
change.
Great. And are you speaking, first of all, are you speaking in favor? or-
Favor.
In favor, okay.
favor.
We'll back up.
My name is Doug Sakota. I live at 1245 North, 2nd East. I know the owners of both the homestead and the trellis. And what they have in mind is that the homestead needs businesses to help their their tenants or whoever their owner is. So by changing it to commercial, it gives viability for their people. And I can see that, especially with that new Moody Road going over the freeway into Hibbard, it aligns a commercial aspect coming down. And so I think I don't know what's going to happen with the church, like you say. A stake, STAK would be great. But no, I'm sorry. No joking. No. Anyway, so knowing what the Homestead people that living there would like to have some other type of businesses like offices, dentists, or something, that they could go to and wouldn't have to drive far away would be very favorable for their needs. And I can, in talking, knowing the Homestead, what they want for their people, they would like to have it so that it's applicable for them. Just that in mind. That's enough said. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Others in favor of the proposal? Anyone neutral? And seeing none, anyone opposed? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and begin our discussion, commissioners, of this particular zone change to community business center.
I've always felt in these two parts that my decision on my first one somewhat carries over to the second portion of this. And so I don't have any additional comments.
That's the comp plan's changed. I don't have any objections now. So,
Well, comprehensive plan hasn't changed
well,
yet.
since we
but
made a motion
did.
to recommend to change it, any objection I've had is now gone.
No, okay.
So
Yeah.
I am in favor
Okay.
of the proposal.
Good.
I'll make a motion. To approve the rezoning.
Recommend to city
Recommend.
council.
City council.
To the city council, the rezoning from light L1 to MDR2 to commercial located at approximately 4 West Moody Road.
Okay, so you're asking us to essentially approve the application as stated, okay?
And just clarification, from light industrial and medium
Density
density
residential.
residential to community business center.
Yeah.
Right.
And do we want to add something like it aligns with
And then perhaps some reasoning that would be,
alignment with the comp?
I
comprehensive
think
plan?
for the reason that I would create some benefits for the type of tenants that are gonna be there, and especially in Homestead and senior housing that's going in. And I think it would be a good thing to stick those offices out by the freeway. Instead of trying to look at something else.
So just one point of clarification, and I would always make this recommendation. And for some of the newer members of this, the reason that we do the comp plan first is because a zone change must be in accordance with the comprehensive plan. And so now that has been recommended for change, then this zone change would be in accordance with the comprehensive plan. And so I would always make that request, whether it is in accordance or is not in accordance with the comprehensive plan, to be a part of any motion.
So you're asking him to add that to the end of his motion in accordance to the comprehensive.
Anytime the governing law with zone changes, it must be for any motion for approval, it must be in accordance with the comprehensive plan.
I'll tack that sentence on in accordance with the
comprehensive.
comprehensive plan.
Thank you. Motion is made by Commissioner Muir. Any second to that motion?
I'll second.
And that's Commissioner
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yep.
Good. Seconded by Commissioner Robinson. Any discussion of the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? And that motion carries and will be sent to City Council. Thank you very much for your participation and for a very lively discussion and a lot of learning. Any heads up, Alan, before we adjourn?
More than likely, there's going to be at least one plat coming, possibly two in the next meeting, but those are not guaranteed yet. We're still trying to finish up the finals on that.
And that next meeting is scheduled for
2nd of July.
2nd of July.
Yes.
Okay.
And if we need to find a way to be here if we can. If we can push them back to the next meeting without creating problems for the developer, we will.
2nd of July.
2nd of July, because the 1st of July, I believe, is a Wednesday for City Council.
And Alan, just and this,
Make that note early that if you're not gonna be here, hey, it's the 2nd of July. The sooner we would know that, the
Sooner we
sooner
know.
it helps us just from a quorum standpoint.
Because then we can just say we cannot put a quorum together due to the holidays, and we can
Okay.
push them to that next meeting.
and this is actually related to that, and that would be, I know that a few of us are up for replacement. Do you have any
Working on that right now.
those, but not the case?
We have
Bill
one
Mark.
that has accepted, but she won't be available till the 16th of July. And then the mayor is working on 2 more.
Okay.
Because we have 4 total that are going to be gone here by the end of the year.
So for the present time, I'll just assume that
We will request that you continue to help us out.
good. We will stand adjourned then.
Thank you.
Okay. That was a mouthful today. Recording done?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm checking to see if Jessica will shut it.
No,
That's a while. Hey, Juco off.
Don't apologize. It's awesome.
Have you read the book in Council with Our Councils?
We off?
Council with Our Councils.
Yeah.